Hello! Welcome back, everyone, to D6, where I RGM bring together several friends from across the internet to play on the DShow. It threw off my groove.
Yeah, I can see that.
Rip.
I'm sorry you've thrown off the DM's groove.
How dare.
Sorry, sir, you've thrown off the DM's groove. Before we jump into today's session, pointing out the obvious, we are down a B today. They were just not feeling too well, so, hopefully a speedy recovery for them.
Little bit of a stomach bug.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
It hit me this morning, too, but I recovered.
With that noted, getting into some D6 news, the Erzheimel's Races booklet will be coming out relatively soon. I am probably almost done with it by the time this episode comes out. My God.
You okay?
What happened?
I don't know. I got hiccups all of the fucking sudden.
Someone's talking shit.
Alright, somebody scare him. Aaron, boo!
Actually, what I've been told is that you close your eyes and you imagine a squirrel going up and down a tree for a few seconds, and it seems to make it go away. It's worked for me several times.
Usually I just hold my breath for a minute. That usually works. That gets my diaphragm to stop moving.
I am too white and turn too quickly red that it scares people, so I can't do that.
Yeah. Anyways, the D6 races, D6 Erzheimel races will be coming out over on our Patreon very, very soon. We're going to be releasing one of our other homebrew subclasses that we had released as well, and also as we're working more and more towards more of our subclasses as we release throughout the year. See. We also, all of our podcasts are updated, as well as we have made it onto another platform for those who are interested in listening. We are now over on Podbean.
I've heard about that one.
Yeah. You guys can access Podbean. You can find us over on D6 EOE or D6 Explorers of Erzheimel. It is fully updated, so even our Black Archives episodes are uploaded there as well. So if you are looking to kind of catch up on what has been the Alois Azure arc of D6, then you can find us over on all of our platforms: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and also YouTube as well. We've been uploading podcasts over on YouTube thanks to the RSS feed. So, thanks YouTube. Last but not least, I have last checked. Who is not subscribed over on our channel? The number has gone down.
What? The button will glow whenever we say subscribe or follow or what have you.
Yeah.
So please.
If you guys would be so kind, not just only liking our episodes, but also sharing it with your friends, to those of them who are interested in Dungeons and Dragons and games like this. If you subscribe, you get a crisp high five from me. A crisp thumbs up. I think that's about it for D6 announcements. Who's ready?
I'm ready.
Ready, Freddy.
Oh, yeah. Today's session of D6. Alright. Where we had last left off. As our adventurers made their way into the Fey Realm, far in the past, thousands of years before their own time, they came across the two individuals who would be destined to become cursed and god, or goddess, Beltanya and Devalis, in hopes to finding out the secret of how and what deal was made that has now cursed Roloy's bloodline. As all of you traverse through the Fey Realm, you find yourselves separate in time and place before being viciously thrown back together by Amsir and made headway into what was the castle of the Lotus Queen. In there, questions were asked, dreams and nightmares, reflections upon the players and characters, and then finally the recovery of Beltanya, who was left in a charmed stupor. After being saved by Murad and thusly thoroughly entertained, was removed from the Lotus Queen's castle and placed back into the Fey Realm with a thorough reminder to reflect upon what you guys are aiming to achieve in the future. As such, just moments before, Roloy is pulled away again into the ether and thrown directly back into the arms of his ancestor and Devalis.
Yoink.
From there, as the rest of you are kind of standing there and slowly beginning to make headway towards that green beacon, you take note that Roloy's gone. Again.
Marios is not shocked.
Does Amster do this often?
Well, to keep the timeline going the way it should, yes.
Alright.
And we're making sure that we're whispering and saying this to ourselves and not near Beltanya.
By the way, Beltanya, we're from the future.
Absolutely not. Murad will not allow that to happen. Did Beltanya even see Roloy before they got out of their stupor?
She did. She's just been kind of focused on making it to that green beacon.
Yeah, Miros just kind of looks around and looks at the rest of the group and just holds her finger up like, shh. If you don't bring attention to it, it'll be fine.
Out of sight, out of mind. Gotcha.
Murad gives like a nod. Head nod.
Just gives like
starts to try to prepare himself.
He'll be back.
Besides, the Feywilds are all kinds of sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense if he would just suddenly disappear.
Well, we should continue walking. Get to our destination.
Preferably.
No, let's turn around and walk back towards the castle. Yes, let's keep moving.
A little sassy, but that's fun.
Henry is tired, and she is at just about half health right now, so... That door gave her a really bad beating, okay?
Did you have your snack?
Yeah, she already ate her snack.
Okay.
Alright. As a lot of you begin making your procession towards that massive green beacon, the eyes of the world shift over to Roloy for a moment. As walking through the dense, dark forest, slowly and quietly following along, you see a rather volatile Devalis as he just attempts to cut through more vines with a heavy hand and a rather chaotic perception of how this world works.
Does he have a machete, or is he using his sword?
He's using a cutlass that he carries along with him.
Does the cutlass look magical?
No. Not by any means.
Okay.
However, the trident on his back does.
You forget to mute your phone.
Happens every time.
Do I have Mobius with me?
No, he's with
stuck
Holly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, he is in crow or raven form.
Raven.
Yes.
Raven.
Alright. Well, if I want to identify that trident...
Amsir also mentioned that you can technically look through his eyes and not have to have a problem.
Because I think we're technically on the same wavelength now.
Mm-hmm. We're on the same plane and time frame.
Yes.
Correcto.
I'll see if I can identify that trident later.
Alright.
When I get an opportunity.
However, you notice that as you're moving forward, and you see as God, sorry, I'm missing a note.
Oh no.
Where'd he go?
Uh-oh.
You looking for his ancestor?
Yeah.
It's somewhere in my notes.
Of course the one piece of paper where I have all the names for the characters are just gone.
Looks at hand.
Is it window node? Or is that something else?
Why note? There it is.
There you go.
Is you do take note that Wynode is still studying throughout his book and been kind of obsessing over the same section over and over and over again, trying to decode and break through whatever it is that this binding spell is. And he does kind of struggle with it a bit. Really? Connor?
Sorry,
No.
could you repeat that?
You're watching as Wynode is kind of just going over and over and over in the same section of the book that he has been studying for this binding spell, and he does seem to be expressing a level of complicated efforts to it.
Copper for your thoughts.
There's a section here that I'm just not fully understanding. I'm getting closer. It's just taking much longer than I thought it would have been.
Let me take a gander at it.
You can see as he kind of almost a little defensively pull the book towards him.
All I'm saying is a fresh pair of eyes is generally sometimes key to a breakthrough. You've been looking at it for too long yourself. Perhaps an outsider's perspective is just what you need to crack this problem, so to speak.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Come on, Rolloy. Let's see what you got. +4.
That's pretty persuasive.
23.
23.
Natural 19.
He kind of thinks about it for a moment, and then he looks you up and down, and he can kind of gather that you yourself are a weathered traveler. And he kind of just turns the book around and he hands it to you. Make me an Arcana check.
Alright, let's see what we got here. And my Arcana is significantly better.
Yeah.
One would hope, as the wizard.
As a wizzy.
That is also a 23.
Okay.
All right.
Natural 15 this time.
Well, you definitely passed the DC on that one. As you begin to read, these are old ancient texts. These are somewhere just a little bit beyond Lumerian history. It was probably around the same century in which the fall of Lemuria had happened, and began the steps towards the Feyvelmach. These are old, ancient binding spells that you will not find in normal practice. This is blood magic. These are often magics associated by those who would refer to themselves as witches or a certain type of hemiomancer. And a binding spell like this is quite a curse if used incorrectly. It works in both directions. You can end up binding somebody or binding something about somebody, but it also binds the caster to that person as well. It is this kind of weird locking key, and usually the way to break something like that is due to a particular circumstance as to how it is casted. So if it is often done in a violent manner, it will probably be the only way to end that spell is through killing is either killing the caster or killing the target of the binding spell. Other times it could just be as simple as, an emotion that is rare for an individual. This magic again is old, ancient, and not used fervently to the point that you would see it as a common practice in the modern age of Erdseheimel. You would probably end up finding that amongst some older covens within the major city-states of Alernon to even a few city-states in the farthest south area of Wallenstein. And that's everything you know about the magic and its history.
Knowing that, cross-referencing that information with where I am now, how long ago would this have been written? From this point?
From this point, it's, as I said, it was probably shortly after the fall of Lemuria and the lead up to the Feyvelmach, which is the 5,000-year war.
So at this point in time, this book would still have been written a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. About a couple thousand years.
Okay.
And given its preserved nature, it's probably been sitting in the Fey realm for a long time.
This is old.
That's what I
luckily, I'm old too.
Yeah.
What part of this are you having trouble with? Come on now. I ain't gonna bite.
Sorry.
Oh, he's just a charming old man. No need to be afraid of
Charming
him.
old man.
To be 100% honest, I'm not sure if I even know if I can cast this. I mean, it lacks components. The component is the blood of the target, and as for the rest of it, beyond me.
And what level spell would this be?
He doesn't seem to dictate that. It seems like the only way to find out is to attempt to cast it.
Okay. Well, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say this is a pretty high level spell. Requires a lot of magic to pull off. This is blood magic, however. So I think that this will require some form of sacrifice or drawback in order to cast it.
I understand. And kind of still keeping a distance away from Devalis to stay out of earshot as much as possible. I made him promise that I was going to try. If he doesn't ascend, then I have very little recourse.
So if he does ascend, you don't need to cast this.
No.
If he doesn't ascend, you need to cast this.
Might have to. That's under the circumstance that even Beltanya didn't ascend either.
Alrighty. I just...
If you're concerned about me, old-timer, I'm fine.
Well, as long as you're sure.
And he goes and reaches his hand out to take the book back.
I don't assume there's anything else I can glean about the spell just before I hand the book back.
Nothing that you wouldn't be able to glean, aside from the information that was already provided to you.
Okay.
Giving your expertise in the magical arts.
He will hand the book back in that case.
Okay.
I find that being a man of your word is a valuable commodity. It's to be respected.
Well, I think you understand that we Fae have a particular way of keeping our own word.
Oh, yes. To the letter, not to the,
Expectation.
Yes. Can I insight him on that?
Sure.
I'd like to find out if he is applying that logic to this case as well.
What's your...
My passive is 14.
The way he said that, and definitely attempting to keep it out of earshot of Devalis, he has a complicated motive, but he is assured that he will cast the spell if he has to, for better or worse.
But it doesn't seem like he's in any way trying to deceive Devalis with the wording of their agreement.
To put this as clearly as possible, he is prepared to stand by Beltanya's side if he has to. His wording is very much, he wants this to end peacefully, and he is willing to help. But you can tell that he is willing to betray Devalis if he does something that is uncouth to him. He's willing to fulfill his word, but betray him in a way that plays on those words that he's agreed to.
Gotta read that fine print.
Love some Fae bullshit. Sorry.
Fays are gonna fade.
Fays are gonna fade.
Quick, somebody make that a sticker.
Throw his face on it.
Yeah, I think Roy will just sit there, pressing his fingertips together, just sort of looking at him, nodding.
I just thought of the dumbest fucking thing. I'm sorry.
Oh no. You're breaking yourself? We're not even, 30 minutes in yet?
I'm sorry. It was because Uzu. They sent me a TikTok of
Why
Shane
you looking at your
Top.
phone?
Oh.
Goober.
I dare to ask the question, what if fairies clapped cheeks?
Oh, she sent me those too.
What they have. It's not a what if, it's like a when.
What if? Yes,
Wink,
it is
wink.
only a matter of time.
Yeah! It's a when, not a what.
That's a double whammy from old Roy right there.
We've been reading a very specific fairy book.
He and Holly still have to go over the cliff notes.
Right. Alright. As you two managing to kind of keep up with the intense trotting moving forward, several hours begin to pass. As you see that the shifting of the bright twilight hues begin to move into cooler colors. As walking through this dark forest, you can feel the eminence. Devalis doesn't face an intense trial like the rest of you did.
Cheating.
He, however, does take a moment to stop and catch his breath as he goes to sit down on a large rock, still kind of turned away from the other two. The thoughts you can see as the head is entirely trained on that green beacon, now not too far away. For the other group, Beltanya, as you find yourself in another smaller, kind of tinged and muddy clearing. You take a moment to kind of find some nice flat ground, catch yourselves as the cool air begins to move through the forest. Again, with that green beacon not being too far.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving it back in.
I thought you, lost hearing. I went, no, not again!
I swear to God, if that thing broke.
Yeah.
Just got it.
I know. This is why I would say.
Yeah.
Marios will just keep looking behind them just to see if Roloi does appear back into this group so it doesn't seem weird.
Alright.
Murad is trying not to pace. As they are getting closer to the end, whatever that may be, he is trying not to look as nervous, which with a +9 deception, I'm pretty sure he's really fucking good at that.
Oh, yeah.
But
Kind of keeping a solid stone face.
But yeah, his heart is slowly starting to pick up the pace faster and faster. Just playing all the scenarios in his head and just knowing that what happens in the end has to happen regardless of how he feels, and he hates it.
He'd get
He's
a little
very quiet.
He'd get a little pat from Marios, that understanding, it's gotta happen. It sucks, but it's gotta happen,
And yet she doesn't understand why it's even worse off for him. Mirad never told any of the party about what Beltanya told him. And it's eating him up inside.
Well, that's why you have your failsafe here of Marios going, don't you fuck this shit up. Anyway,
I won't.
She didn't actually say that. I'm saying that's what she's there for.
Yeah. I think they exchange a glance, and Marios knows that Mirad is still keeping his head in the game, but he is...
Yeah, don't make her rapidly sinkhole your ass.
Yeah. Do you all have rations? Snacks? Still have some left over?
I kind of had to dive into mine back at the tower, but...
Marios wasn't there when you made them, so she's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, hands her one. Just one of the goodies. And Mirada also walks up to Beltanya. Hey,
you're moving away from your mic.
Sorry, I just lowered my voice. Just to sound more comforting, but he approaches Beltanya and says, hey, do you want anything? Any food? Made these before coming here.
What are they?
They are and he kind of divulges a little bit more than is necessary when it comes to food, but it's basically a very well done bite-sized quiche.
Okay.
Quiche!
Winry turns towards them, just says, it's delicious. Just give it a try.
Maybe with a little bit of a seafood quiche, yeah.
She extends her hands out, and as you place it into her palm, it holds it and takes a bite. And you can kind of see, while the dark skin is obviously, bright in its own color, you can see it becomes even brighter as the taste of the food just makes her feel comforted. And it's like watching somebody just enjoy something after so long. Now that is really good.
Thank you. I pride myself as a lot when it comes to my cooking. And they could definitely be told and told by the way that he would describe the food. Like, it has a touch of this, and like has the flavor notes of X, Y, and Z, and like just fucking nerds out about food.
But it's
a
just
nice
not
brief
the same.
distraction.
It's just not the same if you don't have a sprinkle of nutmeg on it.
I see. I never really found myself in the presence of culinarians. It was always mostly fishing, sort procurement. Hopefully we might have bread that has yet to rot.
I used to live similarly, especially my first time, few times living out at sea for my first real paying job. And I basically told myself one day that I would either teach myself how to cook or die on that ship by refusing to eat. And so I did such that.
Suppose tight situations often make us learn such very useful skills.
I was also extremely arrogant and stubborn, thinking that I could just not eat food, but I learned very quickly. as well.
My apologies. Let me go settle her down.
That's right.
Maven
Exactly.
agrees.
You can...
So sorry about that.
Oh no, that's fine. She kind of just like shifts on the clearing and kind of folds the legs over. Stubborn and a little much of a flatterer. I say this as kindly as possible, but usually I do not find the company of men to be exactly persuasive. I've only ever found that rarity once. And now it feels like I'm finding that again.
I mean, I understand for the most part. They're
Impulsive.
I guess it might be a little bit too personal, but I grew up with a lot of disappointing fathers.
I would count myself lucky if I had one.
Again, disappointing fathers. None of them stuck around long enough, though not many of them could ever handle my mother anyway. The audacity of thinking that they could was very amusing.
Mirios is listening to this with a brow raised now.
So you are a mother's boy.
Through and through, I have no shame in that. If you met my mother, you would understand. I'm proud to say that I'm a mother's boy.
Ignoring what had happened earlier today, I find your company to be quite entertaining.
Yeah, it gives a smile and a small nod.
Has Dazzle just made a nest in your pocket by now?
Oh. Dips his hand in his pocket and just scratches his head a little bit.
So what about you? What awaits you in the end? Aside from the obvious witnessing of a ascension ritual, what tests you here?
Well, hopefully some kind of answer something to help a friend. And hopefully hoping to get back home as fast as possible. Someone is waiting on us to get back out of the Fey realm.
Do you like this?
I can't be there for her.
Her?
Red nods and actually flashes his like lifts up his hand and lowers the fingered glove. Like he has the fingerless glove, so he like lowers it enough to flash a ring.
Married man.
Very much so, which is why before it was just nothing. I'm very much in love with my wife, ma'am.
Okay. So you came here looking to help a friend. You go to return home to your beloved. I envy you. I truly do. I do not know if I will go home with my beloved.
Sorry.
It's the best for both of us.
Doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt any less. Just because something is the right call. Someone thinks it's the right call. Doesn't change the fact of how it might feel. And he seems to be projecting just a little bit.
I'm just waiting for Roy to pop up out of nowhere and just, eating popcorn. What I miss?
I wonder if by the end of this test I will still have those kinds of feelings. I was told what it was I needed to do. I wasn't told what Devalis needed to do.
Communication is half of a relationship, at least from my personal experience.
I was told in order to succeed my test, I would need to learn to be myself, on my own. And yet I yearn for him. I love him. How is it that I can be on my own and yet still desire want to be with someone? Like this cruel joke of the gods.
Muriel's has a very stern look at that moment, that comment. She's like, mm-hmm.
Mira also reflecting, just like that small nod. Well, if whatever happens, I'm sure that one of you might be able to change something like that. That kind of perspective. Be a different god, goddess.
I suppose this puts me now at 4 kindnesses, I must say.
And I keep telling you, you don't have to, but it seems that you are as stubborn as I am, so.
Who knows? If I am to send to Goddess, mayhaps I will be able to give you such kindnesses that can only be found by such divinity.
I'd find that as a kindness. Even if I... stubborn ass about it sometimes, or might not recognize you. I have no idea how this ascension stuff works, so... we'll see.
We will see. As you see as the head turns towards that green beacon, the eyes of the world shift away. Out of the Fey realm.
Oh, shit, alright.
And back into the prime material plane. Yeah,
So
no,
many
buddy,
different perspectives.
Yeah, right?
Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom. Not now, sorry.
Cotton,
Yes.
roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, for the love of... Alright,
Just
hold
a
on.
check, not a save.
No, I know. Have to... You said intelligence, correct?
Mhm.
Alright. It's gonna say Mirios on the thing, but it's because I'm not gonna switch the names around.
I get it.
Ooh, did you fall asleep again? Oh, no, you didn't. Alright. 19.
Anything?
16 plus 3.
For the past several weeks, you have been going over these goddamn notes, and you swear to God you were right at the cusp. But time is running out.
I would also say, for the sake of if she's still being followed by a specific person, she just writes little, like, weird notes for her to just look through since she likes the weird writing she does.
Yeah.
If it keeps her calm.
It does. Every now and again, Juno comes to attention, and even sometimes just looking over your shoulder just to look over your shoulder, like, completely ignoring personal space.
At this point, how long has it been?
Been about almost a month.
Yeah, at this point, it's just, you become numb to that shit. You're like,
Yeah.
hey.
However, at the end of this day, you kind of just give up, and
Yeah, just kind of like
There's
puts
no-
the book down, frustrated.
makes you want to kill.
No, not so much kill. Put my
No.
head through a wall, sure.
Okay. Your eyes strained from the squiggles.
Well, and you've been looking at it for... I don't even know how long it's been. You would swear my eyes would start bleeding. Well, at least one of them.
You can see as Juno's staring at the book, her attention just doesn't seem to pull away from it, as almost as if the head tilts ever closer to it.
I don't have a choice if this is going to be used, and I'd rather the people who volunteer for this doesn't have to go through the same trauma I went through. She'll just, like, pause and, like, slightly tilt over and look at her, and look at the notes, and then look at her again. Penny for those thoughts? Well, what would be a penny in this realm again? Sorry, just to keep this
copper.
up.
Copper.
Copper for your thoughts, sorry.
Yeah. You have to tear it apart, or else the lines won't connect.
Tear the notes apart?
See, she kind of just continues to stare, and you hear the sound of the door sliding open as the figure, that massive white coat, comes walking through. Dr. Cottonelle. Juno?
Yes. She just shakes her head, like whatever that thought she had for a minute, and she just kind of shakes her head.
You see as her hand, waves at him. And kind of just drawing your attention. Just here to do our usual routine.
Mm-hmm.
Goes and takes a seat across the table.
She has her hand in her head, just because she's just tired and frustrated. Clearly has the look of someone who's a grad student who's trying to study before this fucking test kind of deal. You know the look.
Oh, yeah. So, how are you feeling today, Dr. Cosmo?
Frustrated. I've stared at these notes for so long. For something that I wasn't planning for a sequence to happen as to what happened with me, to recreate it, but in a way that doesn't harm the person like it did to me. And I'm very aware that we're on a very strict timeline.
We have reached the lower area of the recent tundra. However,
Oh boy.
we cannot ascend until we have your formula completed. Mayhaps an incentive. Would you care to join me, Dr. Cosmo?
What incentive is this now?
I believe, after all the work you've done, you deserve to at least check in with your daughter.
Sure. She's it's a bit of an incentive, but at the same time, it's mean,
Yeah. As kind of beckoning you away, as Juno goes to follow. Juno, if you'd be so kind, please stay here for a moment. This is a private matter. You see as the tongue clicks in the hair and head turn away.
She just kind of looks at her, she's like, I'll be back.
They always say they'll be back.
She just hands her another extra note going, I have been back here every day.
You see as her eyes kind of light up at that last note. And you can see she becomes more involved into it.
If you figured this one out, I'll give you another one.
You see as she kind of sits down with it, and then stares as both of you leave. As the heavy metallic footfalls throughout the ship, before making your way to this massive console area again.
Is this your weird way of torturing me at this point?
Certainly not. I've always figured that since you love your daughter so much, and before finishing typing in the last bits and staring up, it's always good to know whether or not they remain safe. I do care deeply about whether or not that they are. As you see as the long tendrils come up from this lowered area and then project an image. This time she's practicing with a blade. A wooden one, but...
Okay, if it was a real blade, she would have been...
Yeah.
Nope.
Combat training today. At least I know that the Guardians will be more than happy to hold back, but also teach her a strong lesson with such a thing.
Her should be the one teaching her, though.
Speaking of, where is dear Marat?
I don't know.
Dr. Cotton, no. There are many things that I know about you, as you know about me. One of those things is that I know you are a poor liar.
I don't have a connection to him.
See, as that helm moves a bit. I have attempted to try and peer to the Murad on multiple different occasions. Unfortunately, I seem to always be blocked. With these many eyes that can see throughout the entirety of this realm, they seemingly cannot perceive past another. A golden eye. A familiar eye. At least to me.
A golden eye?
Yes. It seems to prevent me from looking further beyond what I would possibly comprehend. It is a very rare matter.
Well, beyond my science, that's a little outside of my wheelhouse there.
Which is why I ask. Where did Murad go? Where was he headed? Where did that ship ascend to?
No idea.
Nonetheless, answers all in good time. You see as the back straighten a bit from the console. It is good to know that Zara is safe.
It is. The look on Cotton's face isn't like distrust or anger towards him. It's just the more she also can't figure this out, and the more she hasn't heard back from, like Salazar and her father, the more she feels like this is just going to be, here's the new formula, and I guess that's it, and, she's eventually just gonna be nothing but a monster at the end of it.
Oh, before I forget, our patient is ready for when the formula is complete. I look forward to it sometime soon.
I feel like I'm close, but I just can't see it.
Mayhaps another pair of eyes might be useful. It seems
Well,
you've been making quite a headway with Juno.
she likes my scribbles, I guess. And I don't know, did her brother do something similar in the past?
Her brother was a scientist, much like all of us.
That would explain a lot, then.
He concerned himself more with the bestiary. He favored creatures from all throughout the realm, and even assisting in creating new ones. He was smart.
Well,
Kind. Honorable. At least that is what I remember of him.
she'd give a nod. Like, you can tell she actually cares. She's just stuck in this weird spot about it all. Regardless, she seems to enjoy whatever scribbles I give her, but before you walked in, she said She was staring over my shoulder, which by now it doesn't matter to me. But she said something strange. You have to tear it apart.
You see as his body immediately straightens. To your left, no. And he immediately bolts back.
She follows, but she's like, holy shit, what's going on?
See, as in full sprint, you can definitely hear the massive metal boots that he wears.
I mean,
almost as if they're pounding through the hallways.
With 40 feet of movement, I'm pretty sure she can keep up with him.
As, like, almost skidding to stop at your office as he literally grabs the door and rips it open as you both go to see a parade of papers strewn across a wall as the leather-bound notes that were once there is now just the leather of it. All the pages are out.
Oh, I should have taken the book with me.
As you see, she goes to kind of, like, push the paper up on the wall and back away. Juno, what have you done? And I need you to make me another intelligence check.
Okay. 14.
Okay. There is a glimpse as you see he is about to become violent before you pull Arthur's arm just enough before you begin to, like, notice a line.
Yeah, she's gonna hold his arm back and hold her hand up to him, and then she's just gonna walk over to Juno to see where she's standing. What are you seeing?
I see stars. I see answer. I see the mind.
She'd pick up one of the pencils and hand it to her. Show me.
As you can see, she starts from the right side of the room. And see as she kind of just puts the pencil onto the pages and begins to draw and connect words like formulas. You see as it all begins to kind of attach in its own weird way a chemical bond, a realization of a new design, the final design. As you can see where sometimes she has to stop and geometrically change as quickly as she starts. And it just becomes this coalescence, this final answer right before you.
It's making sense to her?
Mm-hmm. And finally, it is this shape. The shape of what one could refer to as, like, a human brain.
Yeah, she's letting her do what she is, and she's just standing there staring at it. Like one would, like, the hand over the mouth, just in shock. Because, again, a good chunk of her memory was still missing, too.
You can see as there are times where she stops, creates a circle in certain parts of this brain on the wall. Points.
Would probably pick up whatever left of paper that's on the table, the loose stuff, and start writing down what it is she's seeing in order.
By the time it reaches the end, and you begin to see the separate 5 points that she has brought to this brain, and all the words that coalesce into the chemical bond into what will be a serum. The answer is there. It's right in front of you how to now make Chimericans.
She's got a pit in her stomach.
However, the answer of all the pain, the trauma, and everything that is answer to fixing yourself comes from those 5 points. Each one bound to a core emotion. And each core emotion is bound to a different part of your form. Well, from this point on, nobody would ever face the mental turmoils. You, however, cannot fix this through science. This takes somebody that knows how to affect the mind.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're saying that she's kind of realizing that. She just... leaving Juno and Arthur, she just kind of sits down and just looks rather defeated about it.
As you can see, he looks at this wall and the final note that you wrote, the formula, the everything. The next step, the next 2,000 years of evolution is complete.
Yet I feel like I shouldn't have done it.
As you see as the hand waves towards one of the large Luxon hands as it approaches. Prepare for surgery.
What?
And you see as the large body moves out of the room.
You don't even know if this is truly going to be 100%. This hasn't really been tested.
I trust that it will succeed. Or if it does not, we worry not. And try again.
I worry. That is a person.
As you see as the large hand lands onto your shoulder. No, they are not.
What?
As you see as he takes the formula from the table. Please be in attendance for it. I know it might seem intense, but I wish for you to watch.
So I can witness what I went through?
So you could witness your success. As you see as he walks out of the room, you hear as Juno, looking over her shoulder, he's going to get himself killed.
By what?
They always want to get themselves killed.
You told me he can't die.
It doesn't make it hurt any less.
Thank you for your help.
See his head nods, and they stare at those pages on the wall, almost as if they've been given an answer for themselves. It's as if there's a semblance of memory.
Is there something else speaking to you?
I remember a little bit of it. I remember a little bit of all of them. As she goes and reaches out towards the pages, puts her hand on the wall. I'm gonna go home.
Me too.
As the eyes of the world shift away, where will I?
Huh?
As you stare and worry what might come in the near future, this feeling that whatever is beyond that beacon is going to be the answer to who and what is the cause of all this. More than just the history of it, but also the reality of it. As Wynota comes over and just pats your shoulder again.
Ooh.
You know, I've been looking at you since you've been around. Have you told me which court you're from?
Yes, I think so. Now you're confusing me.
You think so?
He just sort of like knocks on his head. Hard to keep track of everything these days. I thought when we first met, I thought I told you my court.
You see as he kind of leans back a bit. Yet, no magic from you exemplifies that. You emanate the kind of joy, which like I do.
He just shrugs.
Who are you? Really?
He probably takes a water skin and puts it in his mouth and swishes a little bit of it around before swallowing. An ally.
An ally out of nowhere in the middle of the Feywild. You know, I don't think our people really believe in circumstance.
He just grins.
Very well. Keep your secrets.
You can trust me when I say that I am here entirely for selfish reasons. But I am also here to help you.
In an odd way, I believe you. I feel like I shouldn't.
A lot of people. I get that a lot. People should believe me more. He, raises his fists to the air.
Caught him somewhere else. I said I did.
Wenry rubbing her ears. I swear, I think somebody's talking about us.
Marat's always on fire. He's good.
Yeah, my ears can't feel the burning. I already
They
feel it all
are
the
burning.
time. They are. It's like it just feels normal.
So you're just some selfish guardian Thagel? Just looking out for some stranger? I don't mean to pry, Devalis might not care either which way. He's a very narrow-minded man, but since you've been here, seems like you have a lot of vested interest in me. And then you disappeared for a while, and then suddenly you're here again.
Let's just say, my goals align with yours. And, so to speak, this isn't necessarily as much of a coincidence as you think.
Does it have something to do with the test?
It's adjacent.
I feel like if I continue to try and ask questions, I'm never going to get an answer. At least a straight one.
You'll forgive me. I'm not sure how much I can say.
Alright. If anything happens to me, though, just tell me it's gonna be okay. In the end, at least.
I think Reloy's head sort of dips at that. He reaches up and he pulls down his hood so that his hair is exposed. His rapidly gray turning into white hair. I'm here to make sure that it does.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. I'm doing this all for myself.
Right. As two of you kind of laugh at that, see as Devalis, as he stands up. Time for the final push. Let's go. He
I'm assuming it's been a number of days.
It's been a number of hours.
Oh, okay.
As two of you kind of get up after this short laugh as proceeds onward. You can definitely tell that Wino, as he's looking at Devalis, he's becoming more and more unsure if Devalis will actually succeed the test. But presses on. Shifting away, as Beltanya stands up with her spear in hand, staring at the beacon. Time for the final push.
All right.
Miros just stands up. You can feel her back crack a little, like a ugh. She misses her home.
5,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck, dude.
Yeah, Winry does her usual get up, stretch.
She may not look old.
Side, lean to that side. Okay, I think I'm ready to go.
She may not look old, but she is old, okay?
All right. Let's do this.
As you all push forward, about another hour will pass before you end up seeing on these two opposite sides of the forest. And in the center is this massive open lake as the waves roll. And in the center of it, this deck that leads out from the one of the main sides of this lake up to this large, rickety brown sailing ship that's just stuck there with no place to go. And behind the ship, on the other side of the dock of it, is this large green beacon that almost looks like a split in the very fabric of reality. And
Miros just pauses and very lowly to the rest of them going, remember, do not try to change anything.
Mira takes a deep breath.
As both groups slowly make their way closer towards this dock, there is this, as the rest of you would take note, the bandana face-covered individual with a large pirate hat, the trident on the back, and the cutlass in hand. And you can see what is this bright face of Beltanya. My love. As she's forcing herself to stop before going to hug him. After. They both look towards the ship. And they begin to walk along the dock. Begin to hear. So you also picked up a group of strange individuals? Strange, but nice. At least the big one there.
Murad is staring directly at him.
Oh,
there is
boy.
no smile on his face.
Yeah. As slowly walking along the dock, suddenly as there is now distance between you guys, as this fragmented figure appears and puts a barrier between him, them, and you all. Much apologies, but I actually can't allow you to step on that ship, my friends and love. From this point on, we have to remain observant. If any of you attempt to try and thwart this effort. I imagine that the goddess who is about to be here will not be too happy with any of us, including me.
Are you saying this was rigged?
I figured the final test wouldn't have us giving any help.
No.
It's
It's
not
not
I've had
that.
enough teachers that wouldn't like me doing that.
Wenry, I feel like this was rigged. He seems a little too pleased
It
by
was
it.
supposed to happen, so.
My love, sometimes there are things that we must do and not do in order to preserve what is going to happen. You have to assure that we do not interfere.
Oh, the brow-raising Mirios is giving.
However, as you see as he snaps his fingers, and in his hand, this small paper bag appears, and the fresh wafting smell of fried bread enters your nostrils. Vignettes, anyone?
Yes, please!
No.
Why not? Look at them, he's offering! I'm hungry!
I mentioned before if you wanted any rations.
I already ate the ones you gave me this morning.
It doesn't change the fact that I could give you more.
What about second breakfast?
Afternoon tea?
I don't think he's heard of Elevensies.
Levensies? Supper?
I mean, this is coming from the halfling of the group.
Second fucking Lord of the Rings quote in this
In one
fucking
episode.
game.
I'd be
She's a
surprised.
halfling.
if there wasn't.
She's got the munchies. Come on.
Yeah.
Mirios is currently looking towards Roloi. I'm assuming he's there, trying to giving him a look of what the hell's going on.
You also notice, kind of slowly following behind, is Wynode. Because he was in attendance for this. And you see is the short Fae looking back towards Roloi. Is there something wrong?
No.
I'm assuming you guys just want to stay back?
It's not our business.
What's with the force fields going on?
Force field?
Or you said like a wall. Like, popped up.
The actual body of Amsir is acting like a barrier to keep you guys from walking any closer.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you meant like what's his face did it. Got it.
Yeah, no.
No.
Sorry, ignore me. My brain melted.
As well, if it suits you guys, I know you don't really have a stake in this game.
Not much we can do at this point.
Afraid you'll have to go it alone from here. But I will be watching.
Okay.
We don't want to interfere.
So we saw this, but
You guys will be witness to
a canon event.
this.
Murad is gripping the cutlass just as like a stress toy kind of thing, where he's just like really just like
Yeah, Miros would just give you that pat on the back, like, it's okay. It sucks, but it's okay.
you have
Before
no
Wynode
idea.
leaves, I want to get his attention.
Oh, yeah?
Should the worst happen, you told me that you have family. I'd
Yeah.
like to be able to find them and tell them what happened to you.
They have a small burrow in the summer court. They are Annabelle is a healer, gardener. She'll tell you so much more if I don't come out of this. She's super kind. The fact that
Does
she
the name
even...
does the name Annabelle sound familiar at all to me?
Quite honestly, it does. It was a name that was often told as one of the stories of the family ancestry. Her bravery, her gentle hand, her manipulation of old druidic magics, and her ability to heal people. Mostly fed. I still wonder to this day why a woman like that would ever find me attractive. I'm glad she chose me.
He smiles and nods.
And you see as he turns, the events that are about to play out are going to be in rapid succession. Any effort to try and stop them will be met with force. Force that cannot be immediately put down. You also kind of figure that you guys are at a relative disadvantage being on this very narrow dock. So keeping that in mind, moving forward, you are still welcome to make whatever decisions you'd like. Just understand there will be repercussions. As the three make their way up to the ship, you see on the side of it, Holly, Murad, and Rollet. On the side of it, you see written, "The Flying Hollingradian."
Hmm? Hold on. Flying Hollingradian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry.
That's the name of the ship.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
As you see as this green light flash, as it turns from beacon and then coalesces into this massive greenish orb, which then from it extends out this massive figure, feminine and wild. Their skin dark as leather, their hair long and elegant, like magical woods that you would find here in the Fae. Their eyes, this verdant green that pierces deep into a dark forest. And their outfit flowing, covered in nature, and this massive wreath of a staff at the top, almost as if the vines that create it are constantly moving, changing, evolving, and dying, before repeating the cycle of life and death over and over again. As she begins to survey this entire area, the eyes look down towards Amsir. Lord of Time, you deign to be in presence for this. You wish to witness one of your own ascend? Oh, I'm just here to assure that this all happens as according to what it is. I have, unfortunately brought some guests with me, so if you'd be so kind to, move your perception away from them, oh evergreen guide. As you see as the head kind of tilts over, the voice is booming, by the way. They speak with authority. And as she looks towards all of you, witnesses will remain out of the way.
Mirios just gives a nod.
Winry bows her head obediently and even takes a step back to further assure she won't be approaching.
Or the head turns down. Beltanya and Devalis, you were both given a test. Both of reflection. I unfortunately have found that neither of you have succeeded. See as Beltanya looks towards him and then back up. We made it here. We nearly died. The test was not the destination, but rather look inside yourselves. For you, Beltanya, your test was to act as independent. It was so that way you can learn to be yourself. You have unfortunately failed in this aspect. Devalis, your test was to break your curse. As both Wynote's head and Beltanya's turns towards him. And with that leaves only one other option to see who ascends. As if willing it into reality, you see two blades as they descend from the heavens onto the deck. Only one may ascend. See as Beltanya looks back up to this massive goddess. No. I can't do this. I forfeit. That is not how this works, Beltanya. Either you pass your test, or you defeat your beloved. However, I do believe he has a different perspective of things. Or he goes and grabs the blade from the deck. See, there's shock on Beltanya's face. For you see, Devalis is a heartless man. And because he is heartless, he cannot break his curse.
Marios has the saddest look on her face.
Murad is trying his best not to move.
As you see as Beltanya looks back up. What's the curse? What did he need to do to break the curse? I would have assumed that he told you. So I will do you the unkindness. Love. Break his curse, he needed love. And he needed to love. As you see as Devalis kind of just sinks the head low. You love me, don't you? You love me, Devalis. You told me you love me. As he silently begins to raise the blade. Please don't do this. I am to be free of this. You see as she kind of steps away in shock of all this. And you see as Wynote, Wallace, don't. As he looks up towards the goddess, you can stop this. You know you can stop this. She remains staring silently. See as Devalis begins to make his way across the ship. Stepping closer, almost inching towards Beltanya. You see as she almost wanting to drop to her knees to plead. Please, please. You can love me. You have to love me. See as he steps ever closer.
I don't think Murad could stop himself from at least trying to scream out something.
What does he say?
He says he yells out, think about who you want to protect now. Who are you protecting now, Beltanya?
As you see as she hits like one of the stairs leading up to the top of the deck and she falls backwards. And you can see as the words slip out towards him the truth of her status. And as the head and the blade stop for just a moment, as in a swift action, the blade plunges straight through the stomach.
Oh.
as you hear as Wynode scream in anger. And you suddenly see as multiple vines grab him by his wrists and neck and drag him back into the other side of the ship, almost as if willed by the god. See as Beltanya grabbing hold of the blade and pulling it out.
Murad is pacing, but he's like trying not to move forward, but he's staring and trying not to rush forward.
Mirios is eyeballing you, Murad.
As she finishes pulling out the blade, you can see it is a rush of blood. Damn you, Devalis. As she coughs, it is this stream of blood that just reaches towards the bottom of the neck. And almost as if incapable of staying alive long enough, she tips over the side of the banister and into the water. She begins to seep. And as Devalis looks up towards the goddess, I won.
Monster.
As Amseer now looking over. I think you might have it all wrong, actually. As the Devalis looks back. I could not have imagined that in her last breath, she would defy you. I'm so glad I came to witness this. As you see, as the large goddess looks down. Speak, Time Lord. Well, I will be honest. I was relatively sure that something like this was bound to happen. Of course, Devalis would have thought that he won, but he only goes to prove that he is incapable of passing his test. And that he managed to chase away the very person that would have saved him straight into the depths of this lake. And now, since two have died in the same place, I believe a personal friend of mine is going to want to be in attendance for this. As all of you hear a crack, almost as if the sound of a scythe has split the sky. As you look up, descending, a massive black winged figure coming out from the heavens. The hair long and reaching into the ethereum. And covering is this pure white mask and motionless.
I think Holly, despite B not being here, Holly would do some sort of bow or
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And here she is. And you see as the Evergreen Guide, as she looks, Marquess of Ravens, you overstepped to be here. On the contrary, I'm here to claim 2 souls. And It seems like another. As you see as Devalis looks back, I have claimed victory. I am to ascend.
Doesn't deserve it.
Well, actually, Faith. You see, our friend is now sinking deep beneath this lake, holding on to the last string of life. Now, as I do understand, two prime deities before us are concerned with who will claim the soul. However, I believe, as mediator and obvious third party, that you two should decide whether or not that the one sinking beneath us deserves to rise again, or if you will allow a heartless creature to ascend. I know where my money lies.
Nature cannot claim those souls, and neither can death. Evergreen Guide. If this is an ascension ritual, death is necessary. A pact, then. Beltanya will rise.
You see as Devalis throws the blade towards the Evergreen Guide as it deflects away from her.
Dumbass.
Liar! All liars! I was promised ascension away out of this! Away from this accursed existence! And you see as Wynode now looking back.
You just killed both your child and their mother. I think you're getting exactly what you deserve.
Makes you believe you're so brave to speak like that to me? The vines break away from him.
I'm not brave. I'm not smart. But I know you, Devalis. You are always mad.
He flips open the book.
You are always crazy. The only reason why you ever did anything kind was because of Beltanya.
See as his hand hits the book, and you begin to see his energy begins to flow from it.
So I won't bind this curse. I'm gonna bind you. You will never, ever have humanity again. Because I promised you I would fix you. And you're gonna get exactly what you deserve.
As you see as the pages beginning to crinkle back and the book beginning almost as if to coalesce before it pulses back out, and there is this massive wave of energy.
And you will die one day. I might not be the one to kill you, but I sure as hell will assure that someone, anyone will.
As you see as the eyes lock with you, Roloi.
Even if it takes thousands of years. If no one can kill you, I will. One of us will.
As the hand slams into the book, and you see as if long tendrils of blood explode out from Wynode and onto Devalis as it cuts a piece of the bandana. As it falls, you see these large pock marks that look like small burgeoning tendrils. And you begin to see as they now rapidly begin to increase as the form begins to look more disgusting and crazed. The face become elongated and bulbous. As you see as he screams in pain from this, and Wynode, as he is also screaming, the gods all being witness to this. As Lola, you feel the burning of the mark in your hand. As the ritual completes, you see as Wynode is out of breath and weakened, almost as if he had advanced his age rapidly.
I think Reloy's mouth just sort of drops.
And in that moment, you see as both gods descend onto the ship as medium-sized creatures to keep the two from crossing again. Marquess. Evergreen. They both extend their hands out to each other. They leave a small spark, this black and green spark, as they combine and then suddenly phase through onto the deck. The test is over. I hope you understand as you live as a monster from this day on that it is as swift and as painful as possible. For you see as both figures begin to fade away, one to this long stream of black feathers and the other like dust in the wind. And suddenly all of you begin to feel as the water beneath you begins to become violent. Oh, we should probably get off the deck.
Yeah.
Yes, as quickly as possible. As kind of just like scooching you all back. Faster, running, and he just like lifts off and just flies over you guys.
Murad, despite wanting to just stay as close as possible, picks up Winry and helps her run.
Mariel's making sure Reloy is with them this time. Like, nope, let's go.
Yep. As all of you watch as this massive burst of a wave, as this large creature, this massive Beltanya, as she stares down at the ship. Hello, love. Before you see as she waves her hand over it, you can see almost as if watching it fade away, the eyes lock with Beltanya and Devalis. I curse you. Men like you deserve to live a long, agonizing life. You will never taste anything but rot. You will never drink anything but seawater. And I hope that void you call a heart is filled with
bikes. All of eternity.
And as a massive tidal wave from the lake consumes the ship, you see as it roils over it, and almost as if it drags it into the water deep beneath.
Is Wynode still on the ship?
He's taken with it.
I think before that wave comes crashing down, Roloi would like to try and for just a moment buy enough time to hold up his hand, show Wynode the mark, and say, "It's going to be all right."
As you see this olden face, in his last breath, he smiles. Thank you. For the massive wave consumes the ship, pulling it under into its depths. And as it does, you just all witness the rise of Beltanya. And she now looks at all of you. Leave. Leave now. And you see this Amsir. I believe that is the perfect time for us to leave. Good meeting you.
Yeah.
And
Mirad looks so pained.
you see as he claps his hands, and then, as all of you saw before, as he smashes the back of him as this massive portal opens. Quietly and safely, everyone. Quietly and safely.
Yep.
Mirad is going to be the last to go in.
As all of you back into it, and Murad, as you stare at this blazing, angry, sad, hurt, pained individual who is looking like they're holding back tears.
Mirad is crying for her.
I will not forget your kindness.
Mirad nods. Backs into the portal.
As all of you enter, you find yourselves tumbling back through time. And slowly you all begin to descend out through this large portal into the same temple where you guys had originally left. As you exit, and the portal closes as Amsir walks through, along with Murad. Was watching as if glass pieces suddenly start filling the space in place. Well then, how was that for a field trip?
Way too many emotions even for me.
Mirad doesn't say anything and walks off.
I think Roloi doesn't say anything either, but he just sits there.
He gets a pat from Mirios for that one.
Wenry will follow after Murad, just keep an eye on him. But give him some privacy.
Is Ansir kind of just sitting on the steps of the altar. Tragedy exists throughout all of time, and I have bear witness to it over and over again. However, I have never actually witnessed Beltanya's death until today.
She saw us, though. So it's gonna be a little weird seeing her again.
I think we not worry about such things. I've always imagined she had some perception of all of you, or all of them. The fact that we now know exactly what it takes to kill Devalis, and yet Beltanya said nothing.
She still cares about him.
I suppose so. As you see, as he snaps his fingers again, a small paper bag enters his hand again. And yes?
Now it's proper.
With that, we're gonna go ahead, take a 10-minute break.
Hey.
Mirios was so against the idea of, like, popcorn anyone.
No, absolutely not. Mirad was like, fuck no.
Yes, I'll just lie. That'll make everything all better.
Rolloy has some opinions.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be right back. See you all in a few minutes. So yeah.
Hi, Power Bottoms.
Excuse you.
No, English this time.
Yeah, English. Never really happens.
Modern English.
Oh, should I be all like, welcome? Or, hello?
Well, welcome was derived from German, so I don't know if that'll count.
I did German already. Anyways, well, go back to session, everyone. Let us get back into it as we descend Cotton.
Uh-huh.
'Tis the few hours after the invitation to this event is open to you still.
I mean, was she able to go back to her room, or no?
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming, job done, essentially. By herself, or is Juno stuck with her?
Juno is not in the room with you, but you can kind of get a feeling that she's been more concerned about those pages.
The thing is, she's wondering whether or not she's listening through the door or not. She so desperately wants to reach out to her dad about it. But she don't know anything else, next to nothing about Juno after that, so... I guess she'd eventually come back to the door and just kind of open it to see if she's still standing there.
Nowhere in attendance. It is just an empty hallway.
Weird. Well, she'll take that as a small moment of peace and back into the room and lock it. And see if she can contact her father again.
As you speak into the stone, moments pass. Then you hear the voice back. Yes.
It's done.
We found the cure.
Yes and no. They have the serum to create a stable version of what I am. And there is no physical cure for what's going on with me. It's all tied to emotions. And she'll go into this kind of simplified version of what it is she was reading. For the sake of, I'm not smart enough as a person to explain the thing.
Yeah. As a moment of pause, it's bound itself to you.
Yeah.
We knew that from the beginning. It means now it's bonding itself to your mind.
There's nothing I can do about that.
Not you. You need to get out of there.
I can't. We're at the tundra. Underwater. Even if I could breathe underwater, that cold would kill me. They're going after the abyss, and that's the whole point of wanting this formula finished. Because even in my broken version of it, it can withstand that cold.
Figure out what is in that abyss. And as soon as you do, tell me exactly where you are.
Well, hopefully, Mirad and the others will come back soon enough. Because even if I can't, my homunculus can. But I haven't felt them in a month.
Been well over a couple of months.
A couple months, yeah. Okay. Yeah. See? I told you guys, this sucks. Yeah.
I think actually, if my brain has been keeping track, it's been like 3-4 months.
Yeah. But Arthur's been keeping his word. Juno's actually seeming to have taken a liking to me. It's still Modius I worry about.
Modius.
If it wasn't for Arthur, I'd be dead right now. He's the one that wanted this.
And figure out exactly what it is that he is looking for.
Something in the abyss, but Arthur told me that this volunteer is not a person. And I'm not sure how this is gonna go. They want me to watch.
Go watch. You might learn something. As painful as it might be.
We are underwater somewhere in the frozen tundra area. We're gonna be there for a hot minute.
You have the advantage of their trust at the moment. Use it.
Mm-hmm. He's been keeping Zara safe, too. He's using some sort of creature to be able to look at her. Even from far all the way out here.
Must be quite a unique creature.
Yeah, tentacles with a bunch of eyes on it.
Sounds familiar to the beholder.
Mm-hmm. He's been able to watch us. He knows a lot more than he gives off.
I think it's time that you go to find out.
Yeah. Is there going to be a way out of this, or am I just looking at the end closer and closer?
I have a way out. Fortunately, if I tell you, I won't be able to get you out.
I trust you. I'm sorry for what's about to possibly play out.
Don't be sorry. Just be safe.
I'm doing my best. I have a little girl to get back to. She's learning how to use a sword.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just like your father.
Yeah, I really wish it was him teaching her, but hopefully that'll change soon enough. I will
hear the sound of a door open. And you see as the voice pauses. And then the door closes.
I'm sorry, Connie, I have another matter to attend to.
I know. So do I. If I don't show up, I'm sure he's gonna come looking for me anyway. You stay safe, too.
I will.
As the voice leaves, the stone. You hear the faint thud of a knock on your door.
She'll quickly hide the stone again and go to the door.
There you see standing are a pair of Luxon hands. This way, please.
Of course. She can't body through them, so she's just like, all right, yeah.
As you make your way, you find yourself in a watching booth to what looks like to be a room prepared for surgery. On one of the trays, you see what looks like to be this injection device made to be swift and pressurized. In this quiet room, you see as the door opens, as a number of Luxon hands begin to fill the room. And you see a tall figure step beyond its threshold, draped in white, the face covered. The arms and hands are exposed. And you can see what look like deep black veins. As it stares up to the window in order to look at you, as if trying to peer through the cloth. Dr. Cottonelle, I hope you understand that I would not do this if I did not trust you. I know that this will succeed. As you see as the figure that spoke towards you gets up onto the table and is locked in place. Before you see one of the large bodies picks up the device and with its back turned you hear the faint pressurized shot into the body.
She recognizes those sounds and whatnot, and it's uncomfortable.
At first, there is patience. And then you begin to see, as the body begins to rumble, as you bear witness to a transformation from a third-party perspective this time. As you see as the body, almost as if it curls forward, trying to hold back a strained yell before landing back onto the table and letting out an exasperated breath.
She's having such a hard time, but she is still watching, but the urge to look away is so strong.
You see as the body begins to elongate and extend, the bones and ligaments beginning to transform. As you see as these deep white snow fur begins to extend past through the skin. And you notice that there are these thick plates that kind of act as extra barrier and armor to the body as well.
She can, like, phantom feel her own. Like, it's like a check mark going off in her head.
Yeah. And beneath the table, suddenly you hear a groan of metal. As extending out is this long, segmented tail. Not scorpion-like, kind of just this thick, draconic-like tail. And then another gasp in order to keep themselves from screaming. And after a few more moments, you begin to see as the body begins to relax. And then you begin to see as all the transformations begin to recede back into the body. As if watching it in reverse. This process, this painful process being pushed back inside. Before you see the figure that had once walked in human again. At least as far as you could tell. As the head turns, you may release me now. Congratulations, Dr. Cottinelle. It works.
Why yourself?
Because I trust you.
She's so uncomfortable with that at this point.
As you see as the body descends from the table, now we may go to the abyss.
We?
We.
We?
We! Just Roloi is suddenly there.
With a beret.
Right?
As you see as he
Can't
leaves the room along with the massive posse of Lux and Hands.
Is she understanding that he intends for her to also shift form so she can actually survive this cold?
That's his expectation.
That's mean. Is she free to go, or is she still stuck there?
He's free to leave at that point. As all the Lux and Hands are kind of just like trying to clamor to kind of take notes, get an understanding of what just happened. These various extensions of himself just analyzing a million times and a million times over.
She's just shaking her head. She's really upset with herself. The other option, it could have been super violent and people could have died. By that I mean her, so... I think for the time being, she just returned to her room. Wondering what exactly she did.
As we return back, the last stage will be coming up soon, but for now, the eyes of the world begins to shift. As a lot of you, as you now stand in this massive temple, some of you set to the point that you can't even stand to be here.
Winry will
I hope you all learned
probably...
something.
Sorry.
No, she just like, I hope you'd all learn something because that was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Captain, I won't ask if you're okay, but how are you? That was tough.
Not sure how to exactly answer that. Because there's not going to be an answer that I'm personally going to be satisfied with. And just that there's going to just be another to add to the list of people that really need to be taken care of.
I can agree to that.
But something that we also still need to keep our heads together for is getting cotton.
Yeah.
His Amsir's head raises up. Oh, that's another matter altogether.
How long has...
Mirad kind of glares at him, is like...
Mirios would actually pause for a second and look at Amsir. Do you know how much time has passed for these guys versus her right now?
Months at this point.
Excuse me?
Months?
You decided to come to a dimension that is not exactly in the same line of time as the rest of the world. I would have assumed that Arona told you all.
I don't know. Did Arana tell us?
No.
Oh,
Then again, it would be
You guys
extremely
were
difficult.
escaping.
It would be extremely difficult for somebody who extends past the usual lifespan to worry about time. That it probably would have never been a thought to them.
On top of that, you guys were escaping being chased, so...
Well, I can't send you all back because that's not how time works, unfortunately. You probably end up ripping a hole somewhere. However, I will note your significant other is safe. And they do await your return. However, I believe much of it will all coalesce in a very particular place that doesn't exist at this very moment. Now, whilst I can't immediately take you all there, along with your ship, I can tell you exactly how to get there. How many of you are aware of the Adamantine Bastion?
Mirad is, like, very unhappy and glaring and quiet and reluctantly speaks of, yes, I know of it.
Well,
And I know that my wife is on there already. I would assume
no.
so.
no, she's
She's
not.
not. She's not.
Wait,
That-
what? What's
the
the submarine?
The Adamantine Bastion is not the
I got it mixed
Luxon.
up. That was my dyslexia. Sorry. That was me getting names mixed up. Scratch that. But
Massive
would Mirad
city in
even
the
know about
sky?
it?
Yeah, everyone
Sorry.
knows the Adamantine Bastion.
Yeah.
It's
like-
it's the kingdom that was formerly Lemuria, taken over by the current king. Yeah.
He would
Muriel's
still
just
be
going-
pissed and kind of glaring
Yeah.
at him. It's just like, yes.
Mira's
Yes,
just like,
we
yeah,
know.
my old home.
Yes, I believe that all time will converge right where it needs to for the lot of you.
by heading there exactly as you land back into your world.
You can do that for them?
I can get them close. There are rules, and keep in mind, it's magic, not science.
However, there's still the issue about the scale.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I believe nobody should touch that.
Yeah.
Out of personal experience.
However, since you're going after your wife, which would mean the person is after the Sandtide, best to not tell him how to get up here.
I don't plan to.
What do you mean?
She's
up where?
eyeballing
I
you
don't know
because
what
she's
you're
been
talking about.
She's been like, I have been a keeper of this secret, and now someone else knows, and I'm very uncomfortable about this.
It was bound to happen, love. Don't worry about it. And besides, there are plenty of forces well within Windia that can perfectly stop any outside interference. Of course, that does mean we have to rebuild the barrier on Storm Shatter, but should be of little concern, especially for our old friend.
I do not want Arthur stepping foot on that island again.
It'll certainly try to.
There's a look of murderous intent behind those eyes, despite just being space eyes.
So, that said, I believe all of you deserve at least some other faith in the rather tumultuous thought of the imagery you've all been bore witness to. Master Volroy.
Yep.
Whilst I cannot undo the damage you've done to yourself, only you can do that. I will provide you, however, at least the gift, at least returning your youth to you. You see as the hand turns, and as all of you bear witness to the gift of a god of time, see almost as if the clock runs backwards, probably hundreds of years, as you see a old man once, now youthful, renewed, and empowered. As Roloi returns time to him.
The arthritis is gone.
I think Roloi would just be sort of like shocked out of his stunned silence.
He's the god of time.
I'm going to give you your youth back. What?
Oh my god, Rolla, you finally look your age!
Yeah, I think Roloi, as the time winds back, the scruff around his neck gets a little bit shorter. And as the wrinkles and just sort of sallowness of his skin begin to fade, his hair turns sort of a chocolate brown color. However, there is one slight deviation, as there is a pure white streak that is left in his hair.
Now, keep in mind, I can't fix everything, like I said. But what binds you is that very curse that your ancestor had left behind. Break the curse, and all of time will flow back into you. For now, I've managed to at least fix a majority of the damage.
Wait, so if the curse on Devalis?
Exactly.
If I break the curse on Devalis, I become old again. Is what you're saying?
No. If you break your curse that is binding you to Devalis, the damage that has been done to you will be undone.
Oh! So we just have to kill Devalis and this will be permanent.
You have to kill Devalis specifically.
Well, that was the plan anyway. And he, cracks his knuckles and he, stretches out with a limberness that he hasn't felt in so long as a cocky grin spreads across his face.
Oh, and one more gift for the road, because I do have to attend some other matters. Explaining myself to the council.
Am I coming with you this time or no?
Do you really want to be in the middle of that?
I at least want to see her again. I feel really bad after witnessing all that.
Fair enough.
They're friends, okay?
Fair enough. As for my final gift to you, oh, ever so diligent wizard of chronomancy, you'll find it in the bastion as well.
Are you really going to leave it that cryptic?
Yes, as all gods are too. Now, my love.
Yeah, she'll take his hand.
Best of luck, Astral Corsairs. As you see, as the two fractalize away out of time. All of you are left at this temple. Your own devices. And your own thoughts.
Murad
How about that?
I think Roloi is just looking at himself, I think. Just with something adjacent to narcissism, as he's just rubbing his hands together and rubbing his hands all over his face and just delighting in not feeling wrinkles or being weak. And he's stretching and his joints are limber once again. He jumps up and down a few times. Well, I haven't felt this good in quite some time.
Very much level of, I can see! I can
fight!
Well, for once you actually look like the youngest person on our team.
It feels good. It feels really good.
I'm a little jealous.
Oh, Captain.
Oh, not of your age. The fact that you have to kill him. Wish I could get a piece of that.
Well, that doesn't mean we can't help.
I mean, yeah, of
I
course.
assume that you're all going to contribute.
Of course.
Definitely.
That's the thing with these sort of curses. The killing blow must be administered by somebody of the same blood as the one who fabricated the curse to begin with. Ergo, I need to land the killing blow. But that's not to say that you can't rough him up beforehand.
Oh, I will.
Just don't cockblock me on the kill.
I'm sure Hollywood would say, I will prevent him from dying too fast.
Yeah, it's true. You have a grave cleric on the team.
Yep. She has spared the dying as a bonus action. She is going to prevent him from dying right away.
Very devious. Well, Captain, I think I know already. But what's our next course of action?
We've let Cotton be on that submarine for far too long. I'm thinking. But if we're all converging in the same place, then I guess we couldn't make our way to try to find her. Meet all up in the same place. So,
I believe the Adamantine Bastion is where we're headed next, then?
I believe so, but...
Dazzle comes right up onto your shoulder and chirps.
Oh, okay. Is she able to even tell if you... I don't know if you can communicate back to her.
It just tilts its head. It can't right now.
But
Well, even if it can't communicate with her, maybe it can point us in the right direction? I mean, it is bound to her.
It hops.
Boring?
No, like little like ding on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a heading. How are we supposed to get down? Our ship can't really fly without assistance.
Arona?
That's a very good question. My fly spell isn't that strong.
Emsir made it quite of a point that he'll get you guys as close as he can
Okay.
to a destination that will get you there.
I guess he's gonna do it. Well, yeah, elsewhere. God stuff.
Does the ship follow us? It's like a dog. Can you make it do that?
It can, as long as I'm bound to it, and as long as I'm close enough. Sorta, yeah. But yeah, we should get to the ship. Try to plan our next course of action to get to where we need to go, or wait for a signal or sign or what have you.
As all of you take a moment to collect yourselves, your things, you'll all head back to the Nightwish after passing through this last lovely city hidden from the world. As you enter the ship, Murad, this feeling in your heart, this anger, this pain of watching somebody that you dreaded to know but came to admire, and to see them lost. This energy, this well, this magic in you. As you go to put your hand on the blade, you feel it give warmth. As it follows your command, you also feel it stronger than ever as you go to draw the blade. You see as it is longer than before, and that almost golden sheen becomes closer to like stars, and this strange luminance and hum. Go ahead and add Daydream Awaken.
Ooh!
Oh, shit.
Let's go!
Items, inventory.
We're all getting upgrades.
Let's see. Daydream Awakened. There we go. Okay. Equip.
Mirad's getting an upgrade. I got backwards compatibility.
Hey! So I'm gonna equip that, and then attune, and see what happens. Okay.
Next, we just gotta get Holly's goodies.
Oh,
That's right.
you're gonna love
and-
it when Night's End also wakes up.
Oh man. Shadow Blade. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Can you sneak attack with Shadow Blade?
Technically you can sneak attack with any buffs on your weapon.
But Shadow Blade is a spell.
Yes, Shadow
It's a
Blade
spell,
is a spell.
that it is a spell, but it does act as a melee weapon.
So yes.
I believe that's how that works. Excuse me. as I-
That's
See.
I would also love to point
and
out
is,
that
is a spell activated by a bonus action as well.
And you can cast Booming Blade or
ooh,
Green
Yeah,
Flame
you-
Blade on it?
Yes, you can.
Oh my god.
Murad and Wenry with these fancy swords. Goodness.
That's so fucking busted.
then
I'm
gun.
scared. I'm skilled.
Also, don't
So
let me. I did not miss the whole naming fact, situation. Night's End and Nightwish. Like, I see what you're doing.
Waggle brows. Oh
Next,
god.
we need
Okay.
to find the night morning.
Oh wait,
Dusk?
awaken. Like, let's see. Daydream
Or
has 5
daybreak.
charges. Daybreak. Ooh. Daydream has 5 charges. Long rest recharges every long rest. That's good. Let's see.
Speaking
Gives
of a long rest, I think we all might need one.
It's a DC 15 plus spell attack, which is a +4 for me, I believe. At the moment, +6 for
You're all
me.
gonna get back, and Cotton's gonna see young Reloy and be like, "What?"
Oh god! So it's based off of my charisma modifier because of what I am.
Reloy's like, do I fuck with her?
Let's see. Noxus
We
Embrace. What is
we haven't
that?
met yet. Reloy,
She has
nice to meet you.
She'd be like, "Honey, I'm smart."
Let's see. What is Noxus Embrace? Hold on.
The dumb one is Mirad, not her.
All right, we can check out all those goodies you got later.
Oh
Noxus
yeah,
Rated
Noxus
Blade.
is great.
da-da-da.
Yeah.
got
When
stuff to do.
you-
Yes, you do.
I'll read all of this off to
Yeah.
you guys after session,
Yeah.
so I don't take up the time. But or
Just
you can all
listen
read
to-
it on my character sheet through D&D Beyond.
Just listening to Ray go off for the next half hour, going, "I love this."
Ooh.
Alright. As the ship begins to make way back into the sea of clouds, you find yourselves suddenly back in this tunnel, this space that brought you here to start with. You can hear the faint ticking of clocks around you. The last shadow and the last image of these two allies of time and space, leaving you guys behind as they go their own way. And suddenly, you find yourselves in the massive open sea along the Bordean Sea, somewhere near Bulvaka.
There's
As
a
you feel as the ship hits the water with a violent force. Yeah.
Reloy is gonna find a little note tucked away in like his vestments, and it says, "From Muriel's, flip off Arthur for me."
Will do.
As all of you, now within a city with an airport,
Oh god, I hope it's not JFK.
Fasten your seatbelts.
however, Bulvaka, Mirad,
Hmm.
that's where your mom lives.
Oh no.
Okay, wanted to make sure. I was trying to read my notes as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch up because, like, that sounds familiar.
You know
Yeah.
who else lives in Bulvaka?
Yeah.
We all share the same brain cell.
We might have to go visit. If she finds out I'm here and don't visit, she's gonna.
You're gonna
kill
get
me.
punished regardless because you're showing up without your wife and child.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad regardless, but it's like I don't want to
It's-
make it worse.
It's not going to be as bad if you at least stop by.
Oh god damn it! And Rolloy's young. Oh, this is gonna be awful. It's gonna be
He's
bad.
hornier than normal!
Why, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'm exactly as horny as I've always been. He points to his horns.
It's not you that I'm
There's
worried
a
about.
shove.
Oh, golly. And with that, as you guys have returned and now waiting to see where the next leg of your adventure continues back into the skies to the Adamantine Bastion. Eyes of the world, however, are not through with Cotton today.
Why would they be? Let's make it worse.
Oh. Sorry,
Right.
Hmm?
Just the things you post in that chat.
What?
I
Oh,
see the emote.
yeah.
No, man?
Uh-oh.
What on earth is he going to get?
What's he doing? Sus.
Sussy Baka.
Sassy.
Sussy Baka. Sussy Bavaka. Ah.
Ah.
Ah!
Aha.
Sus.
Just need to fix one little thing.
On who? On what?
What? Aaron, you're making us all uncomfortable. What's going on?
Sus.
We're all
sus.
nervous.
I'm so confused.
Someone hold my hand. I'm not sure about this.
Hey!
There we go.
My baby! But she still says Mirios.
Fix that later.
Hey.
In post.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
we'll fix that later.
Cotton is now
As-
Lemurian.
I just want to at least fix the image.
Yeah.
Cotton. As you begin to ascend towards the top of this massive submarine, you see once more that individual as he stands there looking like he usually would, but you can tell that the armament has been adjusted, made advanced.
It wouldn't take long for her to pick out the idea that the armament's meant to shift with his form.
I must apologize to have to ask you to join me for this endeavor, but I am afraid that if I left you here, Rodius might have a tantrum.
A tantrum for leaving me on the ship?
That he will kill you if I leave you alone.
Are you asking me to shift my form?
I am.
You do know every time I shift form, I have a very high chance of still losing myself, right?
I am
You
well
have the
prepared
perfected
for that.
outcome, I do not.
I am prepared for that.
I'm not talking about lashing out at you. I'm talking about that at some point it's just going to be a beast.
Colonel Cottonelle, again, we are scientists. We take risks. I took a risk on you today. Please tell me you are at least willing to take a risk on me.
If you can sit here and look me in the eye and promise me that I can come back to my kid,
You see, as he goes and moves the plate on the mask, as it releases that air and pulls back again, you stare deep into that red, starry eye.
I promise you that you will return dissolved, alive well, and with your mind intact.
Well, the other option is Modius would probably kill me, so... And it kind of defeats the whole purpose. She's trying to be sarcastic, but it's a very dead tone.
I intend to prevent that. We are to find out what is the matter with this. However, I understand that there could be greater dangers.
As he goes under the jacket, he pulls out what looks like to be this small cylinder, this canister, along with what looks like to be this weird breaker on it. And it is flowing with energy inside.
If anything happens, and you feel like you are in immediate danger, and that I cannot help you,
And he extends it over to you.
break the circle.
A failsafe.
It will take you exactly where no one will ever think to find you.
Okay. And she'll take it. You'll have to give me a moment. My clothes don't shift like yours do.
Right.
I'll turn my back as he turns around.
Yeah, she has to. She has to shift into her old clothing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and needless to say, it is a very violent sounding action compared to his.
I need you to make me an intelligence save.
Airbray! Oh god, it's a 1!
Oh no!
Thanks! Thanks, Dice Gods! Fucking love ya!
Oh, the dice guys just want to have a story. That's all they want.
So first
Yeah.
off, you lose 3 humanity points.
Which, in game terms for Arthur, is she shifts and she's immediately screeching in pain, holding her head.
As the flow of memories, the painful memories, as you are writhing and you're pounding against the metal walls, as he goes and turns, and he pulls a canister out from the belt and sprays you with it.
Did he just pepper spray me?
No, it's not pepper spray. It would be bear mace.
That's even worse.
You're turning into a giant barrel beam.
As you do, you suddenly feel a calm, a peacefulness, a calm emotions,
In a can.
and
Portable and convenient.
alchemists, man.
Yeah.
As you suddenly don't feel the immediate anger and pain, but just the dread of having not done this for so long. It terrified you.
It fucking hurt.
And you see as he goes and tosses a white cloth in your general direction.
Just, thanks. It's like, it's a little snarly that I can't physically do myself.
We will attempt to try and not worry as we traverse through the tundra.
I'm not afraid of the tundra.
Good. Nothing out there lives, so we shouldn't run into any particular trouble.
Unless your buddy decides otherwise. By then, she's already switched into her usual clothing, at least. That fits the Chimera form.
Yeah. And as you pack the rest of your clothing into another bag and sling it over your shoulder.
With the gun on her back. Yeah. Just because she's got nowhere else to put it.
You can see as the form of Arthur expands as well, and kind of covering that tail is this segmented metal bit that extends out to follow it. As he stares up at this latch at the top of the ship. Let us begin. As you hear the strong creak as the hatch opens, and as soon as it does, the immediate blasting cold of air enters the ship. And you can see as it almost like frost begins to crawl into it. As the two of you ascend, you see a realm of light for miles. Flat and sometimes jaggedly cold. We head east. As he lifts you up and you begin to proceed out into the tundra.
Well, at least her hypothesis was correct. She can't feel the cold. Well, to the point of death, anyway.
As traveling through this eastern tundra, you spend at least half the day walking, only stopping to ever try and find something to eat and drink if it hasn't been frozen through.
I mean, she could use things like, the shocking grasp or so whatever to heat something up again for the split moment.
Yeah.
You can use spells in a very interesting way.
As every few miles, you can see as he goes and kind of just surveys the entirety of the area, and at a certain point, he finally points towards almost like a small horizon, just an emptiness, not too far off. As this massive blast of wind begins to just push through to the point that you have to yell at each other for instruction.
Not too far!
I'd hope not! This sucks!
As finally, after several hours, you come across what looks like to be a massive hole that descends into the earth beneath the ice. To this void, this darkness, this abyss.
Really hope you're not intending to just push me into this.
Don't assume to push you down there, however.
As he goes under the giant cloak, and he pulls out this other canister, much like the one that you have.
We need to start climbing downward. I imagine that with these forms, that shouldn't be much of an issue.
Well, between my ability to jump and feather fall, I should be fine.
Then it should be of no issue.
As you see, as he jumps into the abyss, And every few times he'll grab onto the side of it and kind of just grind his way down.
Yeah. She'd see this and she just kind of like shakes her head, looks up at the sky, my husband's gonna kill me, and then jumps.
As you're jumping down, it is this strangeness. An entire tempest of cold slowly becoming hotter as you descend. After a certain point, that light that you can see up ever so quickly is beginning to dim.
She would easily cast a fairy fire, then, if that's the case, to help see. Oh wait, no, she has a blind sight. She's fine.
After a while, you too find yourself at the bottom of the abyss. Miles and miles below. And almost as if you're touching pure black. With a force, an actual field preventing you from descending any further. It is like punching this several feet thick glass panel that you just can't get through.
Yeah. She would then she would probably use fairy fire to kind of make out what it is that they're staring at.
Cotton, as you light a light, I need you to make a perception check.
Okie day. Hello, wake up. Wake up. It's been a while since There we go. 22.
22. As you spread out the light, you see curled under this force field this strange connection of lines and magic that spread out far and wide to accommodate what you are looking at. You see beneath this field are 4 creatures. One with wings bound. Another, its tendrils bound. And the last one, its body bound. All of them the size of titans.
I hate to interrupt, Aaron. That was only 3. You said 4.
I know. The last figure, however, is humanoid. And you see as Arthur putting his hands on this barrier and looking down further. Impossible.
What am I looking at?
You are looking at the last 3 titans. The Kraken. The Father of Rocks. Trask. But even more impossible is the one that they're surrounding. As you get a closer look, you suddenly hear the flash of magic. As you watch as Arthur is thrown
several feet away from where he was laying. And now standing in place is Modius. Oh, took far too long for this.
What?
Oh, poor human. This is exactly the final resting place of my master. Or at least, what he desired.
Your master. That thing down there.
Oh no. None of them down there. However, the body down there. Fragmented, made whole again by the gods, as punishment. And as you see as he pulls out from under this cloak, this massive orb, this powerful, brimming with magic, almost
hexadecimal.
dodecahedron thing. And now, the beginning of the end.
Oh, she'd launch at him the moment she heard that.
Make a strength save.
Save. Okay. Hello. 24.
24? You are almost met with a force that initially held you aloft when you first met him. Overcome by pure force of will. Yeah, by pure force of will as you run up to him and get close enough. Uh-oh. Can't have that, as you may make an attack.
Oh, yay! I haven't looked at the Chimera stuff in so long. I will say she probably also uses the action surge with it.
Okay.
So she can attack twice. Or she gets to attack 4 times. She's got 2 attacks.
Alright.
Sweet. Woohoo! Let's see. That one's definitely not gonna land. That's a 5.
Nope.
Hello. There it goes. 19 is the second one?
19? Nope.
Okay. Ooh, that one's a nat 20.
Natural 20? That will definitely
yes. That didn't stay on. That stayed on a corner and didn't read at all. Try again. And the last one's not going to hit. So at least one natural 20 out of all of it.
All right. You see the damage.
Exciting.
Got a question. Because it's reading the human form. Do you remember what the original long claws was? Because it says -1. It shouldn't be -1 anymore.
I believe it was a +3.
Okay, so it's 1d8 plus 3. So I'll just roll it here instead. So 10. So 20 points of damage immediately straight at him.
Alright. As you swing your claws widely, and you see as he moves a couple of times before raising an arm, and his entire arm is met with the long claws before you pull back and see that the blood is blackened as it sprays out. Congratulations, human. You managed to do what one has not been able to do in thousands of years. Before looking at you, and I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence? No. Oh boy. Soft 20.
Soft 20? Nope. As
Damn.
the hand that you just reaved into
grabs your skull, and suddenly your mind is filled with images of this terrifying thing in space, the sky. This dreadnought. As suddenly you drop to your knees, cursing in madness, unable to move and unable to get your mind together as you are breathing rapidly, this fear. Mind so easily broken. Before, as you see the wounds begin to close up on the arm. Now, I offer myself to you, my king.
What?
As he drops this thing and it hits this force field, you see as all of it begins to pull inside. This blackness, this absorption. You begin to see his chains begin to rattle around that individual, that soul medium creature. And you see as he sticks his hand through the dodecahedron and it extends out like this massive, giant claw to reach past the barrier and grab hold of the body. For pulling it back, ripping chains, you begin to hear the movement of these three large beasts all calling out as if a prisoner has escaped. And as this large hand shrinks back down to a normal one, carrying this small fragment, you see as Arthur getting up and running towards him before he can even do anything, takes the fragment and swallows it. And in a moment, a massive burst of energy and flash of light echoes throughout this abyss. As you see as Arthur looks up towards you. I'm sorry. You trusted me.
You trusted wrong.
And you see as that form becomes taller. The eyes shrink down to normal pupils, but still blaring red, like stars. The hair grows even longer.
What?
Talk about a mood shift.
Huh?
As the head lifts up, how long has it been since I've seen you? Staring at you now, Cotton, this figure, this Marion.
He's getting the look back of fear and rage, ready to lash out if he lashes out at her.
You seem more susceptible. As the hand raises and it swings, you see as Arthur's form is torn apart to the wind and scatters across as armor pieces are just rolling across the top of the barrier. What year is it?
What year is it actually, Aaron?
850.
Sorry. What?
854.
Ah, 854. She's just kind of like staring over at these scattered remnants and then back at him. 854? She is slowly backing away.
As you try and slowly back away, you feel as the hand twists and you are still.
God damn it.
Do not look away. Will you witness the king's revival? Mortal. As you see as the hand beckons you, as you are lifted off and pulled closer.
She is getting really tired of being forced around.
What has happened to my beloved Maria?
It fell?
I suppose I will need to find out for myself. Or as the hand waves and you drop to the ground. As he goes to walk and, almost as if trying to flee, suddenly he feels a weight as it... Still bound. As he looks back to you. I have a task for you, mortal.
Not that I'm really getting a choice in this.
Look for a Canis Metilius. Tell him I'm coming.
Is she free to move at all?
He's free to move.
And Arthur's gone?
Mm-hmm.
And Modius is with them.
This is someone else.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna take Arthur's advice and she's gonna break that little thing that he gave her.
As you pull it out and as your body suddenly is ripped from the space. And you feel like you are being tumbled through time and space as suddenly you land in this dusty, old, rickety home. Your ears pop.
Yeah, she's just
like a change of pressure.
That hurt.
However, just outside you can hear the voices of people in the streets.
Is she able to shift back to her human form if she hears that?
Yeah.
Cool. She doesn't want to just pop out looking like she does. As soon as she's able to shift back and recover from that pain again, do I have to also do the roll for that too?
It's only when you transform.
Ah, okay, so it's that way. As soon as she's like able to like shift back to her clothes, just very carefully looking outside.
As you look outside, a group of Lumerians, humans, elves, traveling. Just beyond the window, you can see almost as if the land just falls right off.
She'll step outside, but she's not seeing or feeling any danger. But she clearly looks like she was just thrown off a roller coaster, essentially.
As staring around and looking, you've been told of this place many a time before. Staring back at this old, dilapidated home. A laboratory at one point. As you stare out and you are looking at the adamantine bastion.
Huh. Well, he's right. He wouldn't think to look for me here, I guess. But now I'm floating above the star. Huh.
A few moments later, and you begin to hear footfalls of guards and metal making their way towards you.
Shit, right. She definitely knows not to mention her last name. Her other last name.
As if like a quick mobilization, you can see catching up with what looks like to be a number of adamantine guards making their way towards you, as well as one individual, a elven woman. And she points at you to stop and do not move.
You gonna throw me around too? Like, she looks like she's been through it.
Yeah, as a number of guards with spears kind of just place it upon their shields as if ready to do anything to you. Who are you and how do you know of Arthur von Druig?
My name is Cotton, and I was given the thing, and he told me to break it if I needed to get out of a very bad situation. She's got her hand ready, like, if she's not moving, but if someone aims at her, she will grab the gun.
Very well. Stand down! And she walks over to you. My name is Special Director Harleen Kapoor, and we have a lot to discuss.
Does she know that name?
Mm-hmm.
No. Why do we have a lot to discuss? I don't even know who you are.
That's what we will be discussing. As leaving this space, almost as if time and convergence will make their way here. That, so we're going to go ahead and leave this.
Well, Amsir was right about something.
Alright.
Well, shit. You legitimately introduced the Kraken and the Tarask.
The dark secrets of the Abyss.
Yay!
Alrighty. With that noted, though, I'm sure a lot of you guys have a lot of questions for me after session, and we will discuss them after session.
Yes!
But with that, we need to do some quick announcements, and then we will head off. I don't have any personal announcements, mainly because a lot of the projects that I have been working on are kind of already done for me by now. My free run project is out. A localization video is going to be coming out very soon, and also I might be streaming again. So if you guys are interested in that, look forward to it. And also some cool things to come. Blue.
Yes. Hi, it's me, it's Blue Kazanate. What a hell of a roller coaster ride, but now I can switch back to just being one character. Though I am sad to see Muriel's go, but she's good. She's fine. I don't really have announcements right now, aside from the fact that I now have some Reloy content to finish. Because he's a spry young man again.
I feel young again.
Yeah,
I'm almost done with the full image, and then I gotta work on his PNG tuber one, so there will be all new stuff coming soon. So until then, though, well, you can't see it till the next few episodes anyway, so I'm gonna toss it over to Ray.
Hello, I'm Ray, also known as Kink, and Calligraphy Inc. Let's see. Yep, still working on commissions and being very, very busy. But besides that, let's see. I believe I will have time spent over to be able to help and assist with additional D6 things, including finally, hopefully finishing some artwork down the road so Aaron can actually have that. But other than that, I think I don't have anything else. Everything else is NDA from me, so passing it on to Connor. Also, remember to like and subscribe. Okay.
Yeah. I am Distortion Devil. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr, YouTube, and Blue Sky at Distortion Devil. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Yeah. Also making some 5th edition homebrew content on the DM's Guild. Look out for that there. And that's basically it.
Last but not least, Kendra.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kendra. All around the internet, you can find me as Transient Day. I'm watching over the D6 TikTok, D6 EOE. Please go check it out. Leave a comment, leave a like. Wow, today was an episode. I'm gonna need to lay down for a while after this. I didn't even do much.
You were here. You were witness to this.
Alright. Nothing else pressing?
Nope, just lots of feels.
Yup.
Well, that being
And
said, thank you all
excited
so
for the
much.
future.
That being said, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for spending your time with us. We hope that you stay safe. We love you, and as always, see you next time. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.